Stop using that expensive night cream until you know its secret. Today, we're exposing the 7 ingredients hidden in your foundation, shampoo, and perfume that silently sabotage your health, disrupt your hormones, and accelerate aging. Phthalates. The scent of sacrifice. The scent of your signature perfume, the flexible hold of your favorite hairspray. That longevity is anchored by a family of industrial chemicals called phthalates. Yet, these are not ingredients designed to nourish. They are plasticizers and solvents, introduced to keep colors vibrant and ensure fragrance lasts. They are the chemical anchor holding the scent you love, a sacrifice we unknowingly make. The most common offenders in cosmetics, like dibutyl phthalate and diethyl phthalate, are easily absorbed through the skin or inhaled when sprayed. Once inside the body, these chemicals present a profound problem. They are known endocrine disruptors. They mimic natural hormones, sending false signals throughout the body, ultimately confusing biological rhythms that govern our well-being. This is not surface irritation. This is systemic interference, subtly undermining the harmony of your internal chemistry. This silent disruption is far more widespread than most realize. It is a slow, chronic echo within the body's crucial systems. We must now turn our attention to what this chemical interference means for women and how these disruptions manifest in ways we mistakenly attribute to age alone. The endocrine echo, disrupting hormonal harmony. How often do we dismiss a mood fluctuation, a confusing energy dip, or persistent difficulty with sleep as an inevitable consequence of the years? It is empowering to know when a struggle is not natural, but chemically influenced. Phthalates create what can be described as an endocrine echo, a subtle but chronic interference with the body's highly organized messaging system. The consequence of this chemical whisper is long-term instability. Studies show that phthalates disrupt the delicate signaling of the thyroid and interfere with the natural balance of estrogen. This is concerning because phthalates are fat-soluble, meaning they do not flush from the system overnight. Instead, they accumulate over time, building up within the body's tissues with every luxurious product application. This chronic exposure places an invisible but measurable burden on our internal environment. The simple elegance of a healthy life depends on the stability of these systems, yet many daily rituals unwittingly compromise this harmony. This raises a crucial question. If this chemical hazard is so systemic and potent, why is it in our most cherished cosmetic products? We must now expose the places where phthalates hide in plain sight, often under one vague, misleading word on the label. If this sophisticated guidance on clean living resonates with you and empowers your choices, please subscribe to our channel. Your subscription helps us continue this vital work of sharing timeless wisdom and ensuring elegance is always synonymous with well-being. Where phthalates hide. The secret ingredient list. Take a moment to look at a favorite bottle of nail polish or the beautiful bottle of hairspray. It is precisely the durability and flexibility of these products that owe a debt to phthalates. These industrial chemicals are hidden in our cosmetic routines with astounding regularity, found in everything from scented body washes and lotions to colored makeup, acting as the solvent holding it together. The ultimate betrayal of consumer trust lies in the industry's ability to conceal these chemicals. This is achieved through a regulatory loophole centered around the single word, fragrance. Because fragrance recipes are deemed proprietary trade secrets, companies are legally permitted to list only that single word on the ingredient panel. This allows dozens of undisclosed chemical compounds, including hormone-disrupting phthalates, to slip into your product undetected. In essence, you are paying a significant sum for an opulent experience, only to unwittingly acquire a dose of chemicals that work against your long-term health. We deserve better than this calculated obfuscation. The truth about phthalates is now clear. They are invisible agents of hormonal confusion, hiding behind the allure of persistent scent. But they are not alone. Our next saboteur is the most widely recognized, the family of preservatives that were supposed to keep our products fresh, but instead introduced a risk to our systems. Parabens, the preservative that undermined trust. If you have shopped for cosmetics in the past decade, you have witnessed the powerful cultural shift that placed the term paraben-free onto nearly every quality product. This widespread rejection of the preservative family known as parabens was not proactive innovation, but a dramatic reaction to concerning scientific findings. The discomfort about these chemicals had been growing for many years, highlighting a profound failure of trust in the beauty industry. Parabens, such as methylparaben and propylparaben, were once the silent, ubiquitous heroes of the supply chain. Cheap and remarkably effective, they ensured that your moisturizers and foundations would not spoil. The problem lies in their molecular structure. Once absorbed through the skin, these compounds act as xenoestrogens, foreign entities that possess the subtle ability to mimic our natural hormone estrogen. This molecular similarity has been a source of intense study. The mere fact that a common, low-cost preservative can interfere with the body's most sensitive signaling pathways is enough to deem it unacceptable. The fundamental betrayal is this: we welcomed them as keepers of freshness, only to learn they were quietly compromising our internal environment. We must now look closer at this mechanism of mimicry and understand the cumulative effects of sending these constant, confusing, hormonal messages to the body every single day. The estrogen link, the body's false alarm. Imagine your body's hormonal structure functioning on precision and natural signaling. Now, consider the impact of introducing an inexpensive synthetic piece, the paraben molecule, that fits imperfectly but manages to trigger the mechanisms. This is the estrogen link, where the preservative sends a constant, low-level false alarm to the body's most crucial centers. The real danger of parabens lies not in a single exposure, but in the daily systemic load we accumulate. Think of the layers: a paraben containing shampoo, lotion, and foundation. The body constantly absorbs these small amounts, allowing them to accumulate and weakly bind to the estrogen receptor sites. While the binding effect of one application is minor, this cocktail effect of continuous layered exposure creates a low-grade, chronic state of hormonal confusion. Your cells are receiving mixed signals, challenging your body's ability to maintain equilibrium. This insidious accumulation is precisely what undermined our trust. When the industry responded to public concern by removing parabens, they often created a new, equally complex problem. We must now turn our attention to the clever marketing phrase that replaced the paraben label and the new dangers that lurk in those supposedly clean alternatives. The paraben-free trap, a new generation of danger. The rise of the paraben-free label was a victory for consumer awareness, a clear sign the industry felt the need to respond. Yet, in the rush to remove these controversial compounds, many companies simply swapped one set of preservatives for another, creating a new and equally confusing terrain. This is the paraben-free trap, an excellent marketing phrase that doesn't always deliver on the promise of true, clean beauty. When a cheap preservative like methylparaben is removed, it must be replaced by something, or the product will spoil rapidly. While some companies adopted expensive botanical extracts, many turned to newer, less studied synthetic replacements. Consider compounds like methylisothiazolinone, MI, which can cause severe allergic reactions, or phenoxyethanol, which has been linked to skin irritation. The focus shifted from hormonal mimicry to acute skin disruption. The problem wasn't preservation itself, it was finding safe, well-researched methods that could handle mass production. True sophistication involves asking not just what was removed, but what was used to fill the void. Having uncovered the truth behind parabens and the tricky swaps that replace them, we move now to an ingredient that undermines our confidence in a foundational claim: the promise of eternal product freshness. Formaldehyde releasers, the ghost in the bottle. There is a quiet reassurance in opening a bottle of lotion or shampoo that you purchased months ago, only to find the contents perfectly preserved. This astonishing shelf stability is often owed to a group of compounds called formaldehyde releasers, which stabilize a product by quietly holding a chemical secret. They do not contain formaldehyde, but they are engineered to release small amounts of it over time, deploying an invisible vapor to thwart bacteria. Ingredients like imidazolidinyl urea and DMDM-hydantoin keep water-based products viable for years. However, as the product is stored or temperature fluctuates, the bonds break down, causing a slow, controlled liberation of the gas. This constant, invisible emission places a burden on the air we breathe and the skin we apply it to. Formaldehyde is designated by global health agencies as a known human compound of concern. Yet, it lingers in our cosmetics because it is a highly effective, low-cost means of ensuring a long shelf life. The ghost in the bottle is the chemical released onto your skin, compromising your environment for the sake of corporate convenience. This slow, controlled release has a distinct and disruptive effect on the skin's immune system, often causing a persistent reaction that women struggle to identify. We must now turn our attention to the specific ways these released chemicals manifest as chronic irritation. The allergic reaction, the skin's quiet complaint. What about the persistent, low-grade redness, the chronic flaking near the eyes, or the inexplicable sensitivity on the neck that simply refuses to clear? This is often the skin issuing a quiet but firm complaint against the formaldehyde releasers we discussed. This group of chemicals is known globally as a potent sensitizer, actively teaching your immune system to react against it. When these slow-releasing agents encounter the skin, they trigger a defensive response, which we observe as contact dermatitis, persistent irritation, and inflammation. This constant battle undermines the skin's natural barrier function, making it vulnerable to accelerated aging. Beyond the irritation, we must remember the gravity of the underlying compound. Formaldehyde is classified by authoritative international health organizations as a compound of significant human concern. Why tolerate constant discomfort and risk for a product's extended shelf life? Our skin deserves sophisticated, gentle care, not a chronic immune challenge. We must now turn our attention to an entirely different, yet equally essential, category of our beauty routine: sun protection. Here, an insidious chemical hides behind the promise of safety, silently absorbing into the body while blocking the sun's rays. Oxybenzone, the sunscreen's hidden cost. The most consistent, non-negotiable step in maintaining radiant skin is the elegant ritual of applying sun protection. Yet, within this foundational act of self-care lurks a profound contradiction. Oxybenzone, chemically benzophenone 3, is a widely used chemical ultraviolet filter. It blocks the sun's rays, but fails spectacularly when it comes to the safety of our internal systems. Scientific studies have demonstrated that oxybenzone is not a shield sitting on the skin's surface. It is rapidly and efficiently absorbed into the body. This chemical has been found detectable in the bloodstream for up to 96 hours after a single application. Once internalized, it immediately begins its systemic interference, mimicking and disrupting the body's natural hormonal functions. We choose this product for health and longevity, only to invite a compound that works against the delicate balance of our well-being. This hidden cost diminishes the profound wisdom of choosing sun protection at all. This chemical's disruptive nature is so powerful that it has caused alarm in environments far removed from our bathroom cabinets. We must now turn our gaze outward to understand what the fate of the world's most delicate ecosystem can tell us about the safety of our own bodies. The coral reef warning. What it says about you. Sometimes, the clearest evidence of an ingredient's danger is found not in a clinical laboratory, but in the vibrant, delicate structures of the natural world. The powerful truth about oxybenzone has been revealed by the fate of the world's coral reefs, an ecosystem so sensitive it provides a poignant analogy for our own internal environment. Oxybenzone has been shown to cause damage to corals, leading several responsible nations, including Hawaii and Palau, to legally prohibit sunscreens containing this chemical. These jurisdictions recognized that even minute concentrations of the chemical were sufficient to disrupt the coral's life cycle. The lesson is profound. If a chemical is powerful enough to damage a robust, ancient natural system, how wise is it to invite that same compound into the sensitive ecosystem of our bodies? The fact that entire coastlines have deemed this ingredient too hazardous for the water should serve as a clear, elegant guide for what is too hazardous for our skin. Having revealed the betrayal in our sunscreens, we now turn to a category of product that many believe to be purely innocent, the cleansers and shampoos that promise luxurious lather. Here, we find a harsh industrial compound masquerading as a pampered experience. We treasure the wisdom and experience within our community. Have you noticed a positive change after switching to a mineral-based sunscreen? Please share your safe alternatives and your favorite clean beauty tips in the comments below, and let us learn from your elegant choices. SLEs. The bubble betrayal. There is a profound psychological satisfaction in the rich, voluminous foam of a high-end shampoo or body wash. We equate that expansive, luxurious lather with efficacy and cleanliness. Yet, this entire foamy performance is often a bubble betrayal, manufactured by the harsh, inexpensive industrial compounds sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS, and sodium laureth sulfate, SLES. These are surfactants, powerful cleansing agents that are widely adopted because they are incredibly effective at removing grease and are exceptionally cheap. The problem is that they are too effective. The chemical strength required to create that dramatic foam aggressively strips the natural protective oils from our skin and scalp. This leaves the surface vulnerable, leading directly to the frustrating cycle of chronic dryness and sensitivity we often endure. In essence, we are being sold an industrial-strength cleaner, repackaged as a sophisticated experience. The foam is not a sign of quality. It is a cheap additive that actively undermines the health and moisture barrier of the skin. The constant stripping caused by these foaming agents creates a compounding issue. It weakens the very protective layer our skin relies upon. We must now explore the long-term impact of undermining this essential protective barrier on a daily basis. The skin stripper. Undermining the barrier. Our skin's natural moisture barrier is the epitome of sophisticated engineering, a wall of lipids and cellular wisdom that locks moisture within and keeps external stressors out. Yet, the persistent use of harsh cleansers containing sodium lauryl sulfate and its counterparts is akin to taking chemical sandpaper to this crucial barrier, undermining its integrity. The chronic stripping caused by these foaming agents leads to severe transepidermal water loss, resulting in that perpetual feeling of tightness and dryness that no amount of heavy cream can entirely fix. Worse still, when the barrier is weakened, its permeability increases dramatically. This means that the other toxic agents we have discussed, the hormone-disrupting phthalates, the suspicious parabens, and the sensitizing formaldehyde releasers, can pass into the deeper layers with greater ease. This daily assault compounds the systemic burden on our bodies. True beauty maintenance requires reverence for this barrier. Compromising it for aggressive foam is a profound counterservice. We now have the foundation to understand the long-term threat of chemical stability. This leads us directly to the fat-soluble compounds that refuse to clear the system. BHA and BHT, the long-term stability threat. In a luxurious foundation or moisturizing lip balm, the oils and fats have a natural temptation to oxidize and spoil. To prevent this, the industry introduces a pair of inexpensive synthetic antioxidants, butylated hydroxyanisole, BHA, and butylated hydroxytoluene, BHT. They are highly effective at ensuring the product will be stable and fresh years from now. This promise of long-term stability in the product is a direct warning about the chemical's long-term stability within the body. BHA and BHT are fat-soluble chemicals designed to stabilize oils. When applied to the skin, they are readily absorbed and have a tendency to accumulate in the fatty tissues and vital organs over time. This is not a sudden danger, but a chronic, low-level systemic burden that lasts for decades. International health agencies have raised serious concerns regarding BHA, classifying it as a potential human compound of concern. While these stabilizers are cheap and indispensable to the longevity of the cosmetic supply chain, they pose a constant challenge to our metabolic and cellular health. This chemical accumulation is the silent consequence of using fat-soluble compounds that refuse to clear the system. We must now turn our attention to the specific ways BHA and BHT challenge the body's ability to detoxify and function harmoniously. Accumulation, the body's burden. We often assume that any substance applied to the skin is processed quickly and cleared from the system. However, the fat-soluble nature of chemicals like butylated hydroxyanisole, BHA, and butylated hydroxytoluene, BHT, means they are designed for longevity, and they accomplish this within the body itself. This is the truth of accumulation, a constant, low-level deposit that grows over decades, creating a measurable systemic burden. Because these compounds are used to stabilize oils, they are readily absorbed and sequestered by the body's natural fat reserves, refusing to be easily metabolized and excreted. Every swipe of a creamy foundation or a rich balm adds to this long-term internal presence. This accumulated chemical residue places a chronic strain on the liver, the body's supreme filter, potentially interfering with the metabolic processes crucial for maintaining youthful vitality. The betrayal lies in the chemical stability. The very quality that makes BHA so appealing to manufacturers is precisely what makes it concerning for the longevity of our health. With the silent burden carried by these long-lasting stabilizers now unveiled, let us turn our attention to the final, seventh category, an antibacterial agent that was once hailed as a necessary cleanser, but which created more resistance than purity: Triclosan, the antibacterial mistake. The allure of absolute cleanliness led the beauty and hygiene industry to embrace Triclosan, an antibacterial agent that promised hygienic perfection. It seemed like a sophisticated solution, but this promise of purity ultimately proved to be a profound mistake, compromising both public health and our internal well-being. Triclosan delivered a powerful, inexpensive means of inhibiting microbial growth. However, extensive scientific analysis revealed that this widespread use contributed significantly to the growing problem of bacterial resistance. Worse still, like many of the other agents we have explored, Triclosan is a known endocrine disruptor, found to interfere specifically with the crucial signaling of the thyroid gland. While many health agencies restricted its use in over-the-counter soaps starting in 2016, it remains an authorized ingredient in a few select cosmetic and oral hygiene products, meaning we must still scrutinize our labels. We have now examined the 7 most egregious toxic ingredients hidden in our routine. Before we empower you with the clean solutions, we must address the frustrating reason why these compounds linger on the shelves for so long. The knowledge we are sharing is crucial for the health and safety of women everywhere. If you know another woman who deserves this wisdom and confidence in her choices, please take a moment to share this video. Empowering one another with knowledge is the highest form of elegance. The regulatory lag. Why the danger lingers. We have uncovered 7 distinct chemical hazards, and the consistent thread weaving through all these betrayals is the disheartening truth of the regulatory lag. Why do scientific studies often raise urgent alarms about ingredients years before those compounds are finally phased out? The answer lies in the slow, complex mechanism of regulation, which simply cannot keep pace with the rapid innovation of the global beauty market. The time it takes for a chemical to move from detection to restriction is a vast, open window that the industry uses to maximize profit. For every study that raises a question, there is a lengthy period of rebuttal, review, and lobbying that ensures the ingredient remains legal, marketable, and cheap for as long as possible. The burden of proof to restrict a cosmetic ingredient is incredibly high. This system prioritizes the stability of the supply chain over the stability of our health. Knowing why the danger lingers is the crucial first step toward demanding better. It is time now to pivot entirely toward the solutions and the actionable knowledge that empowers truly clean choices. The Clean Beauty Code? What to look for. The elegant pursuit of well-being is not defined by fear, but by the confidence of making informed choices. We have exposed the hidden truths of 7 chemical saboteurs, and now we must replace that knowledge with a clear, sophisticated code for clean beauty. It is time to move beyond anxiety and embrace the certainty of selection. The new standard for truly luxurious, clean beauty requires us to adopt 3 simple, actionable steps. First, prioritize simplicity. The most elegant formulations are often the shortest. When a product lists 50 ingredients, there is far more room for fillers. Second, look for certification seals. Organizations like the Environmental Working Group, EWG, offer verified seals that signify a product has been rigorously screened. Third, be suspicious of water. Water-based products require heavy, inexpensive preservatives. Prioritizing rich oil-based serums and balms often naturally reduces the need for the harsh, stabilizing chemicals. By adopting this discerning code, you transform yourself from a passive consumer into an active curator of your own beauty. But to truly master the label, we must practice identifying the chemical red flags that linger even in otherwise clean formulations. The ingredient literacy test. reading beyond the hype. True sophistication in beauty is not about memorizing complex chemical structures, but about developing a keen, intuitive eye for warning signs. We now embark on our final lesson, the ingredient literacy test, empowering you to quickly screen any product label. The beauty industry is filled with deceptive buzzwords, phrases like natural, clean, or botanical, that are often meaningless. To bypass this marketing haze, you must become fluent in reading the core list of chemical components. Look for specific red flags right in the middle of the ingredient panel. The prefixes and suffixes are key. The ending, paraben, is the clear signal. The term PEG, or polyethylene glycol, often indicates penetration enhancers. And the single vague word, fragrance, should always trigger immediate suspicion. Furthermore, embrace simple tools, such as using online databases like the Environmental Working Group's Skin Deep, which provides an accessible rating system. This commitment to literacy transforms your shopping from a hopeful gamble into a confident, informed ritual. With these tools, you now possess the complete wisdom required to curate a truly clean, radiant future. The wisdom of choice. A final affirmation. We have completed our journey through the complex landscape of modern cosmetic formulation, and your knowledge is now complete. The goal was never to foster anxiety, but to cultivate a beautiful confidence, the kind of self-assurance that comes from knowing precisely what you are applying to your skin and why. True elegance is found in the decisions we make to honor our bodies, choosing transparency and purity. Remember this fundamental truth. The chemicals we have uncovered are primarily introduced to serve the supply chain, not your well-being. They extend shelf life, mask cheap ingredients, and create unnecessary foam. The ultimate anti-aging secret is not found in an expensive filler, but in the powerful act of removing these systemic stressors that challenge the body's hormonal harmony. By choosing to eliminate these 7 agents, you are reducing your internal burden and allowing your body to function with natural, effortless grace. You now possess the knowledge and confidence to curate your own elegant, clean routine. If you found this essential guidance empowering, please subscribe and press the like button to help this wisdom reach more women. Thank you for watching, and choose well.